Hey, I'm Benny Obscene, and on this episode we cut up my perfectly good 240SX. Yeah, you heard that correctly. I am chopping up the rear quarters. I'm going to go with some Overfenders, nothing too big, but definitely wanted to space these out a little bit more. What we're going to do today is just a real simple cut and weld of the outer arch to the inner arch. What that does is it just enables a little bit more space for the wheel to move around, and that's really the main reason why you would go with an Overfender anyway, just to increase clearance. So the first step is to mark the cut. What I'm doing for that is I've got a marker on a string on a lug nut, and if I top out our stud here, that'll let me draw the cut that I want to make. Now that I've got the line marked, the only thing left to do is commit and plug in the angle grinder. Okay. All right, that's cut one complete. We went around that nice radius, kept it as clean as possible. And now, unfortunately, if you're like me, I think just about everybody has to do this, but you're also gonna have to cut along this line here, since the lips are rolled, in order to get this piece out. Please don't cut me. Right, so we've got this piece just about out. Go ahead and snap this off. Step two is to get this area right here as clean as you can, so that when you're welding later, it's not as miserable as it's going to be, and it's going to be miserable. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up before I do the slits over here. Moving right along. So I've got this lip cleaned up, as well as on the inner arch, I've cleaned that up as best as possible. It's tricky to get the grinder in there, so just get it as clean as you can wherever you have the access. What you're eventually going to be doing is you hammer this up and weld it here, and what that does is it prevents grime and grit and rust and everything from getting in and out the car. You know the rest. So next part is we cut slits in the inner arch here so that we can then fold up the lip to meet the outer lip. So now that we've got these slits, what you can start to do is hammer the inner arch outward to meet the outer arch. Now the fun part, we get to melt some metal together. I've got my Eastwood MiG 135 set up, and all we're going to do here is lay down a couple tack welds just to hold everything tight, and then I'll go ahead with the cutting wheel and trim off the excess metal. It'll make more sense once I get into it. Now that this is chopped off, got a little bit better access, I'll go around and finish off the welds. Okay, now that the welding is finished and you've got it pretty much covered, I went around and did just a quick cleanup with the grinder. Nobody sees this, but I like to do it anyway, just so that I can make sure that I haven't missed any pinholes. Once that's done and you put out the small fire, but manageable fire, take a quick breather, get a drink, and clean up the surface with denatured alcohol, acetone, whatever you need to just clean this up. Because we're going to be painting with a little bit of etch primer and undercoating to protect the surface here. So what I like to do is just mark out a little bit of masking. It doesn't have to be fancy. And next, we just hit it with a little undercoat. Once you're ready, go ahead and place the panel up on the body and just test fit. Make sure you get it pretty much where you want. We're looking okay there. A little bit. And once you're ready, you start drilling the holes for the rivets. I don't exactly remember where we left off here, but I was putting in the rivets and I hit a whole bunch of snags and basically traced that to this super cheap Amazon pop rivet gun thing. Basically, it wasn't even pulling the rivets off. And really what you need is a proper heavy-duty rivet gun like you've got right here. It's got the two handles, makes it so much easier, pulls the rivets out so easy. And I think with my better tool and my better helper now, we'll be able to finish off this job. Ready? Okay. All right. So step one, we place a little rivet into the hole. And if it doesn't go all the way in, take a little tiny socket and you can just kind of bang it in a little bit. Step number two, we take a crappy one and throw that away, and we're going to use the big one. Okay, ready? Down there, and then squeeze this. Sword! Sword! Ah! One more. Sword! Are you squeezing? One more. One more. Are you strong enough? Yeah. Yeah, we did it. Good job. Ha
Let's do it again.
And there you have it. That's the long but fairly straightforward process of putting Overfenders on, I guess, any car. I think they look great. What do you think?
Race cars and crash.
And they crash? Does this one crash?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Two of them.
Two of them. Thank you so much for watching. Plenty more. We've got events coming up.
When you want to see it, let's see the car when we just drive. Okay? So we're going to go banana time so we can go. So we're going to leave now. But But I'm going to wait till 9 days. God.